नमस्ते, welcome. خوش آمدید دوستای عزیز به چنل سلف ترانسندنس مستری با ترانسندنس رویال انور. دوستان عزیز، امروز یک ویدیو درباره افطاری میکنم. I'm just doing a video about iftari, which is like when you break your fast as a Muslim, but I'm not a Muslim, so this is like a non-Muslim iftari. And right here, got some aubergine, some spaghetti with some stuff, and some fruits. It's my setup. It's around 4:20 something in the UK in Manchester. I don't know what day of Ramadan it is, but I've been fasting except one of the days, and I'm not doing it the way they do it, but I just do it using the concept as an Inception Genesis template, so I can get the essence of what the whole Ramadan is about, and also how they felt like our ancestors when they were in the deserts, when they were fighting, when there were like famine, like when the wheat and everything, when there was no bread, no food, like how they felt when they were spending like 10, 15, 20 hours without any food, without any water. And one of the main concepts of Ramadan, from my perspective, I think it is just so we can experience what it's like to have like nothing, like no food, no water, to be in a survival mode for like 10, 15, 20 hours. Like, how do you function? Are you still able to do your work? Are you still able to dance? Are you still able to be happy, to be joyful? Are you still able to be functioning effectively, efficiently as a human being? That's one of the concepts. The other one is also just for us to appreciate food better, appreciate food more, like, and also honor food more, and also be able to like talk with the food and bless it and say thanks to the creator for giving us so much food, so much abundance. And the other one is to just give our body some time. Digestive system, you keep eating and everything, and your body's like, what the fuck, why is this guy eating so much? Basically, when we eat all the time, and we form this habit of eating, and like we don't even know like how food tastes like, or if we forget the essence, the juiciness that's within a strawberry, that's within, I think it's a peach or something in there. I think it's a peach. It's very yummy, man. I just want to eat this thing first. It's very yummy. Also because I like peaches in general. No, that's the peaches that come with ladies. Astaghfirullah. This guy is about to have an story, and he's talking about ass and tash and things like that. Oh. Anyway, this self-transcendence mastery with Transcendence Royal Anwar, it's a very comedic channel where we're having fun with things, we're just laughing and dancing. Because when we are in a state of purity, when we're in a state of like laughing and joyful and happy, and we're chilling, as consciousness is happy, and our awareness is happy, our telepathy is happy, and we have more fluid, more dynamic, more light imbued energy within us, we become like water, like how Bruce Lee was saying, be like water, my friend. Water is indestructible, water is eternal, water is source, water has awareness, water is Oriya 007, water is us, we are water. So when we talk with water, they have done studies, they have done experiments where the vibration, the frequency they state that the water is in, it changes based on who is interacting with it, because it responds to your field, it responds to your awareness, it responds to your purity. Water, if you can see, it's a translucent diamond heart mirror. Like water is, I think that's what probably Bruce Lee meant. It's not that so much being like water like that, but being like the essence of water, like having the same consciousness, the same purity, the same awareness as water. Like it doesn't matter wherever we put water, it has no form. Water is formless. I think that's what Bruce Lee probably meant as well. Like, thank you, Bruce Lee. like become formless, like have no form, even though you're living in a body that apparently looks like it has a structure and everything. But right now I have my hair tied up at the back, and that is one form, formless. But right now it's a different form, isn't it? Just at one change of my container, my structure, my energy, I look a completely different person. But for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna, you can see the difference. I look bare drippy like that. But like this, I look a different person. And that's what Ramadan does, is like fasting in general, basically. When you're fasting, you become a completely different person. Because your body goes through a full spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, architect, creation, transcendence, source, archangel, guardian, ascended master, and the self itself goes through massive transformation where you actually become a completely different person. I'm trying to keep this long and don't shave it, just in honor of like the prophets. They have like, I think they had nice beard and mustache and everything. They looked pretty cute and drippy with it. I'm just embodying, or at least trying, putting an effort to embody how they looked like, how they felt, how they behaved, how they spoke, how they interacted with the environment, how they interacted with water, how they interacted with Mother Nature, how they interacted with their own sacred divine counterparts, like how the feminine Hazrats or Imams or prophets or messengers, angels interacted with the masculine prophets and Hazrats and Imams and everything and messengers. How did the two, knowing that they are sacred divine beings, messengers of Allah, pure beings, how did they have sex? How did they procreate? How did they treat each other? Did they have fights? Did they slap each other? Maybe, obviously in the touch, yes, but I'm talking about the face. Did the masculine ever physically abuse the feminine, even though he knew that's a divine being? Did the feminine do the same thing to the masculine? Like, what is that dynamic look like? What is that sacred dynamic? Like, isn't that so pure? Just no matter what they go through, and the same thing. This is just a Genesis template for the collective itself, for all the people who have, whether you're with a partner or not, the same thing is your own feminine and masculine within you. You can have fun with it, you can play with it, you can flirt with it, that's totally okay. And you can play with your food, you can flirt with your food, you can talk to your food. It's all consciousness, it's all awareness, it's all telepathic. When you're doing it telepathically. It affects the structure of the food. It affects the essence, the energy, the light, the frequency that this food is vibrating in. This could be poison, and I would eat it. It will not affect me, because you can change the frequency, the vibration of poison, and turn it into honey. Same thing with that. So that's another thing I think Ramadan is about. The other one is also just to experience what this people who are here experiencing poverty, what they experience, like what it's like for them to have no food and sleep at night hungry with empty stomachs. Because right now there are like very, very poor countries in the world that have very limited supply structure, where the resources are not distributed in a way that there are not proper systems and educations and tools to help them create their own systems of like creating food and things like that, like having proper soil, gardening education, giving them the right seeds in the environment, and then having a water system with the pipes so the water can come and they become farmers and they can grow their own food, and it creates different types of economy. And it really just puts you in that state. It's also like feeling like what the homeless people look like, or what they feel like when they have no food and they're just hungry and they're sitting on the street and saying, hey, can you give me some change? Because I think it was like end of 2020, I spent the night in London just sleeping as a homeless guy. Like completely, totally changed my perspective of like, even though that was one of the best nights. I had a nice sleep. I enjoyed it, like being on the street like that, because it doesn't matter wherever I went. It doesn't matter if I was here or there in any house. I just felt like this whole Mother Earth, this area is just one being, is just my home, like this whole universal cosmos. And I just know, and you gotta understand that that's another things that Ramadan, I think, teaches us, is like it teaches us that we don't own anything. No, I don't even own this body, let alone the food that's here, let alone those visions and those drawings. Um, let alone my transcendence goddess God, my imaginary girlfriend that is so imaginary she's actually real. uh, yeah, just laughing for no reason. And this stuff, these three patterns again. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna put it in my food because I'm gonna be eating it in a second. And the same thing with these leaves. We're gonna take 2 leaves and just put it there, and I'm gonna be eating them in a second. And we're gonna be talking in this video in a bit and longer. So it helps you to, you know how they say, put yourself in the shoes of someone else? That is bullshit. You can only do that if you truly put an effort to experience what that person is experiencing. You can do it through imaginary bullshit, no, that stuff, it's still okay, but if you really want to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you gotta wear the shoes that they're wearing. Metaphysically, but also physically, in a sense. You don't have to go and say, hey, let me try your shoes on. No, it's not about that. It's about, if you see a homeless guy on the street. I saw these guys that are a couple of months ago in Manchester. They were like 72-hour something challenge or something, where they were living on the street as homeless beings for 72 hours. They were like, I want to experience what it's like to be on the street for 72 hours or something, to also raise awareness, but also they were willing to experience, they were willing to put themselves in that person's shoes, so they could experience reality to their perspective. And I've sat on the street next to homeless people, shared meals with them, spoke with them many, many times. And I understand what their perspective is. They just sit there, they're just observing everybody rushing around, and they're pretty calm and peaceful. But at the same time, I know they all need a lot of help and support, which we all are doing differently. And I'm doing it like this. Before I was doing it in different ways, giving them money, food, and sharing meal with them. That was really the most important experience for me. It was like sitting there and actually getting some, I think it was like those wings from